Today, I'm showing you how to bring CS2 animations into Unreal Engine and turn them into stunning cinematic shots step by step. Let's dive in. First, we need to download the essential files that will let us import CS2 Maps into Unreal Engine 5. I'll include a direct invite link to Adnex's server, along with direct download links for all the required files. In the server, head to the Announcements section and scroll up until you find the message about the S2 Maps tool. Click the link to download the zip file. Click the latest release and download it. Here's the file I just downloaded. Let's go ahead and extract it using WinRAR or 7-zip. Inside this folder, we've got a Blender add-on, a Maps widget for Unreal, and a PyToolkit plugin for Unreal Engine 5.5. But since I'm using Unreal Engine 5.6, I'll head back to Discord, go to the Plugins section under Unreal Engine category, and download the PyToolkit version that matches my engine. We'll also need the Decompiler. To get it, just open the text file provided by Adnex, copy the GitHub link, and download the latest release from the page. Make sure to choose the correct version for your operating system. In my case, it's the CLI Windows 64-bit zip file. Now I'm creating a new folder inside the Maps tool directory and naming it Decompiler. Then I'll extract the contents of the zip file we just downloaded directly into this folder. Now let's open Blender. Make sure you're using version 4.0. If you don't have it installed, I've included a direct download link to Blender 4.0 in the video description. Once Blender's installed and ready, let's jump back in. Head to Edit, Preferences, and install the add-on that came with the Maps tool zip file. If you're installing the add-on for the first time, it'll be the only one that shows up in the list. Just enable it. But if you're reinstalling it like I am, you'll need to search for it manually and then enable it. Or you can simply use the search bar to find it faster. Once it's enabled, click the hamburger icon and select Save Preferences to keep it active for future sessions. Now let's open the Epic Games launcher and create a new project. We'll set it up so it's ready to import the CS2 maps. You can also use Unreal Engine 5.5 if you prefer. The setup process will be the same. In the Project Manager, choose Game as the project type. I'm using the blank template, but you can choose another if you prefer. I'm naming this project Tutorial, just to keep the YouTube ritual alive. Click Create and give it a moment. Unreal might take a bit to load the project. Once the project is open, head to the Content browser, right-click on Content folder, and choose Show in Explorer. First, minimize Unreal Engine. Then, open the zip file folder we extracted earlier. Inside, you'll see a folder called Path to your UE project. Open that. Go into the Content folder. Copy these folders to your project content folder. Now we need to install the PyToolkit plugin. First, navigate to your Unreal Engine installation directory. In my case, it's in the default location. Next, go to the Plugins folder inside your Unreal Engine directory. If you're using Unreal Engine 5.5, you can simply copy the PyToolkit plugin from the Maps tool folder and paste it here. If you're using 5.6, I already showed you where to download the correct version. Just paste that PyToolkit folder into the same plugins directory. Now head back to Unreal, go to Edit, Plugins, search for PyToolkit, and enable the plugin. If Unreal prompts you to restart, go ahead and restart the engine. Once Unreal has restarted, go to the Widgets folder, right-click on the S2 Maps tool, and select Run Editor Utility Widget. Click Set Plugin, then hit Save All, and restart the engine once more. This time, we'll need to do it manually. It might seem stuck here, but just be patient. It'll load. For me, it took about 3 minutes to load, but the time may vary depending on your system. In this window, start by selecting the game. In our case, that's CS2. Next, choose the Blender executable. Make sure you select Blender 4.0. To find the correct path, right-click on Blender from your taskbar or Start menu. Then right-click again and choose Properties. In the Properties window, click on the target field, copy the entire path, and paste it into Unreal Engine. Just make sure to remove the quotation marks. Next, we need to select the Decompiler executable we downloaded from GitHub. Just click the 3 dots, then navigate to the folder where you extracted it and select the executable file. Now let's select the Game folder. You'll find it inside your Steam library. Just navigate there and choose the CS2 game folder. Next, choose a folder where you want the decompiled game data to be stored. Make sure the location has at least 100 gigabytes of free space if you plan to decompile all the maps. There's also an option to change the button colors in this widget. Now let's import our first map into the project. Go to the Map tab, and in the first slot, select the VPK file for the map. To find it, navigate to your CS2 game folder. Open the game folder, then go into CSGO, and finally open the Maps folder. You'll see a long list of maps. Choose any one you'd like. I'm going with Inferno. Once you select the file, the map name and size will be filled in automatically. Now just click Decompile. If everything's set up correctly, the decompiling process will start right away. I'm using 4K textures for the map, but you can stick with the default settings if you prefer. Once the decompiling is complete, click on Convert Map and Props to continue. This step can take around 2 to 3 minutes as well, so just give it a bit of time to finish. Once the conversion is complete, we can finally import the map into Unreal Engine. Importing the map into Unreal Engine took about 51 minutes for me, but the time can vary depending on how many assets the map uses. No need to worry about this log. Let's go ahead and close the map window and save the project to make sure all progress is saved. All the textures and assets have been imported successfully. Some assets might not be perfectly positioned. Feel free to adjust or delete them as needed. Now go to the CSGO2 folder, open Maps, then open the Inferno folder. Select all the static meshes. Right-click. Go to Nanite and click Enable Nanite. This allows the map to use nanite rendering. You'll need to repeat this step for every map you import. Let's move on to the next step. We're going to record the demos and bring them into Unreal Engine. Now that we've finished importing the maps, let's head back to the Discord server. In the Announcements channel, click on the widget link. Then hit the Download link to get the required files. From here, download the UEEditingTools version 4.0 along with the CS2Parser and the DataModel file. I'm creating a new folder on my desktop. You can place it anywhere you like, but it's important. We'll be using this folder to store the CS2Parser and DataModel files, which are required to import demos into Unreal Engine. To keep things tidy, you can create separate folders for each file. Place the DataModel file inside a folder named DataModel and put the CS2Parser.x into a folder named Parser. We also downloaded the UEEditingTools zip file. Go ahead and extract it. Then, just like we did with the Maps tool widget, copy all the folders from its content folder and paste them into your Unreal project's content folder. Now let's head back into Unreal, open Project Settings, and scroll down until you find the Python section. In the Python section, click the plus button under Additional Paths. Then copy the path to the DataModel folder we created earlier and paste it here in Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine will prompt you to restart. But before restarting, go to the Widgets folder, right-click on the UEEditingTools widget, and select Run Editor Utility Widget. Make sure the widget window appears correctly. Then you can restart the engine. In the widget window, click on Settings. First, change the game from CSGO to CS2. Then, update the model's path. By default, it says CSGO, so just add a 2 to make it CSGO2. For the master skeleton, search for Master and select the CS2 Player Master Skeleton. Still in the Settings tab, go ahead and enable all the options. And if you want, you can change the button color again. I'm sticking with green. Click Save, and the settings window will close. But we still have one more step to complete in the settings. I'll come back to that after recording the demos. Now click Save All, then close the project. And let's switch over to Steam and open your game library. Select Counter-Strike 2 from your library, click the gear icon, and then choose Properties. Now go to the Betas tab and select version 1.40.8.8. This is required if you want to play older demo files. But if your demos were recorded after the AnimGraph 2 update, you can skip this step. Set it back to none when you want to play the game normally. Just keep in mind, every time you switch versions, Steam will download about 3 to 4 gigabytes of data. Also, go back to the Settings menu and make sure the Launch option is set to Ask when starting game. Then head over to the DLC tab, check the box for Counter-Strike Workshop tools. Click the Play button, and in the Launch selection window, choose Counter-Strike 2 Workshop Tools. In the Workshop Tools window, first click on Create Add-on. Name it anything you like, then click Create. Once it's created and selected, just click Launch Tools. The game is launching. This might take a moment, so go ahead and text your friend or grab a quick break. Now close Steam, and in the Workshop Tools, you'll see the Asset Browser. From the toolbar, click on Source Filmmaker. First, change the frame rate from 24 to 30. Don't worry about the other settings. Just click Create. Now from the taskbar, select the Game window to bring it on top of the Workshop Tools. Here, you can use demos from your official servers, or any demos downloaded from HLTV or Faceit. Now let's load the demo. Press the tilde key on your keyboard to open the console, then type Play Demo followed by the name of the demo file you have in your game folder. Wait for the demo to load, then find the highlight or moment you want to record. In my case, it's the final round of the match. Make sure to play through the entire round once before recording. This ensures all models and animations load correctly. Now restart the round again, then switch over to Source Filmmaker. Click the Record button, uncheck everything except models. Make sure to uncheck these two additional settings as well. Go ahead and click Record. The demo was paused when I restarted the round. After the countdown sound, click the play button in the bottom left corner and let the entire round play through to the end. Once the round ends, pause the demo and stop the recording in Source Filmmaker as well. Now right-click in the viewport and uncheck Progressive Refinement, then double-check that your round was recorded correctly in Source Filmmaker. Now in the timeline, right-click on the animation, go to Cleanup, and under Resample Logs, choose every second frame. This helps fix animation glitches or bugs, likely because it smooths out inconsistent frame data from the demo capture. Now go to File and select Save As. Choose any location you prefer, and name the demo file whatever you like. In my case, I'm naming the file Train, then clicking Save. That wraps up the in-game part, so I'll go ahead and close the game and reopen the Unreal Engine project. With the project open, let's start by opening the Train map. Now let's open the UEEditingTools widget. First, select the DMX file we just exported from Source Filmmaker. Then, choose the same demo file you used to record the gameplay earlier. It's a good idea to name your demo files clearly when you record them for Unreal Engine. That way, they're easy to find later when doing this step. Before you click Import, there's one last setting to configure. Go to the Settings tab, and under the Paths section, select the CS2Parser path. I have mine on the desktop, but yours might be in a different folder depending on where you saved it. Make sure your settings match mine, then click Save and go back. Now we can click Import. Importing the animations will take a few minutes, and if you want, you can set up the CS2 parser before recording the demo. It works either way. I just prefer doing it this way. If everything was set up correctly, you'll see a new drop-down menu where you can select the player whose POV you want to create. In my case, it's my name, Tough, so I'll choose that. Below, you'll see a list of models required for the POV. The sleeves are missing, so I'm selecting the professional sleeves to use instead. Everything else looks good. You can also swap out the knife model if you'd like, but I like the default one, so I'll leave it as is. Now I'll click Import Camera and create POV. This will automatically generate a custom POV with our selected player. You'll notice the character outline appears in the viewport when I try to select it. To fix that, with Player Model selected, disable the entire Player Model folder in the sequencer. This makes it easier to clearly check if the POV looks right. When I select the camera, you'll see the POV along with all the other player models in the scene, each playing the correct animation. And if we switch to lit mode, the lighting and character models look really nice and detailed. The POV looks good so far. It might feel a bit laggy. That's just because the train map is pretty heavy for my system. You might also run into an issue where the weapons clip through objects or walls. To fix that, find Camera V2 in the outliner, then in the Details panel, reduce the view model size. Don't lower it too much though, or the weapon and arms might start disappearing. And with that, we have our demo with an auto POV fully set up inside Unreal Engine. Huge thanks to Adnex, not just for releasing UEEditingTools version 4.0, but also for creating the S2 Maps tool that made importing CS2 maps into UE5 so seamless. Shout out to Paper for coding parts of the DMX importer, Marcus WA for the parsing library used in CS2Parser, and Kit for providing the awesome camera V2 I've been using here. Big respect to everyone who made this workflow possible. Also, if you want to save some time importing maps, head over to the Adnex server and check out the project channel under the Unreal Engine category. Big thanks to Lauran for uploading a complete project that includes all the maps with textures. You can download it directly from there. This project also includes older version of the UEEditingTools widget by default. But to avoid conflicts or errors when importing your demos, it's best to delete the existing widget from the project before adding a fresh one. Let me show you how to do that properly. I've already downloaded the project, so I'll start by extracting the first part. It'll automatically combine all the parts into a single folder. Next, go to the project's content folder. Inside, delete everything from the widgets folder and also remove the CS custom POV folder. Also make sure to delete everything from the blueprints folder too. You can simply remove the folders. It works either way. Now you can copy all the contents from the UEEditingTools zip into this project. If you also want access to the S2 Maps tool, go ahead and copy its contents as well. That way, you'll have both widgets available. If you see a prompt asking to replace files while copying, just click Replace the files to continue. Once both widgets are copied over, you can open the project and you're ready to start recording and importing demos straight into Unreal Engine. Massive thanks to Lauran for sharing this full project, and of course to Adnex and everyone who contributed to these tools. You've made what used to be a complicated process feel smooth, fast, and actually fun to work with.